Captain Jake Morrison stood silently on the bridge of the UFS Liberty, his gaze fixed on the warped starfield as hyperspace folded around them. The view was unsettling. Space did not shimmer here, it bent and twisted like liquid light, as if reality itself were being rewritten. Humanity had traveled for 3 weeks through that abyss, following coordinates won through blood and sacrifice. At his side, Lieutenant Amy Carter double-checked her tactical display for what felt like the 100th time, while Chief Engineer Ben Rogers kept an anxious hand near the engine readouts. Every system aboard the Liberty was humming at the edge of perfection. This was Earth's finest starship, built from a patchwork of human ingenuity and alien technology salvaged from forgotten battlefields. For 40 years, humanity had known it was not alone. Strange derelicts and cryptic transmissions had shattered the illusion of cosmic isolation. And yet, every attempt at communication had been met not with welcome, but with warnings, warnings laced with both pity and fear. Different voices, different species, but always the same refrain: stay within your boundaries. Jake Morrison had served 22 years in the Earth Defense Force, through pirate raids, border wars, and skirmishes with raiders from nameless alien factions. But this mission was unlike anything before. Humanity had decrypted the contents of a stolen alien datacore, and inside it found something remarkable: coordinates for the Galactic Council's convergence. A meeting of every major civilization in the galaxy. A hidden summit where destinies were decided. And humanity had never been invited. Amy's voice cut through the tense silence. "Captain, we're approaching the coordinates. Dropping to normal space in 30 seconds. The bridge grew still. Nobody truly knew what awaited them. Rumors spoke of a massive station hidden in interstellar void, but the data had been fragmentary. The only certainty was that humanity was about to intrude upon the most sacred ground in galactic politics. The countdown ticked away. 10 seconds. 9. The stars bent one last time, then snapped back to points of light. And there it was. Before them stretched a structure so vast that the mind rebelled at its scale. The Galactic Council Station, an impossible cathedral of crystal and organic architecture, larger than some moons, hanging silent in the void. Its towers glowed with living light, and its curved structures seemed to defy gravity, twisting upward like the frozen spray of a cosmic fountain. Around it orbited thousands of ships, sleek, angular, baroque, organic. Every vessel a reflection of its makers. Every design alien. "My God," Ben whispered. "Look at the size of it." Jake felt his heart hammering, but his voice remained steady. "Open a channel. All frequencies." Amy's fingers moved quickly. "Channel open, Captain." Jake drew in a breath. "This is Captain Jake Morrison of the United Earth Federation Starship Liberty. We request permission to dock and address the Galactic Council on behalf of humanity." The reply was immediate and overwhelming. Dozens of voices crashed through the comms, metallic screeches, melodic tones, whispers that sounded like stone grinding against stone. The translator sputtered, trying to keep up, fragments cutting through the chaos. "How did they find us?" "Impossible, those coordinates were quantum sealed." "Alert the speaker. Destroy them before they contaminate the convergence." Amy frantically adjusted filters until one voice emerged clear, crystalline, and edged with authority. "Human vessel. You will explain immediately how you obtained these coordinates. This gathering is sacred and protected. Your presence violates treaties older than your species." Jake stepped forward, spine straight. "I am Captain Morrison, representing Earth and her colonies. We obtained these coordinates through our own efforts. Humanity refuses to be silenced or excluded any longer. We demand recognition, and we demand representation." The bridge fell silent but for the hum of machinery. Outside, alien vessels shifted into defensive positions. The Liberty was a single ship surrounded by 1,000, outnumbered beyond hope. The crystalline voice returned, this time heavy with something like sorrow. "I am Zark, Speaker of the Council. Your species was deliberately excluded, for your own protection. You do not understand the forces at play in this galaxy. The prices that must be paid. The burdens of expansion. Ben leaned toward Jake, his voice low. Captain, we're being scanned, 30 different systems at least. Some of this tech, it's centuries ahead of ours. Jake's jaw tightened. Speaker Zark, humanity has colonies on 12 worlds. We have faster-than-light travel. We have fought raiders, pirates, and worse. We are ready for our place among the stars, whether we are welcomed or not. The council chamber erupted again, fragmented translations spilling across the comms. They sound like the Kthmor before the purge. The apex will not tolerate this. Ignorance wrapped in arrogance. The speaker's voice cut through like shattered crystal. Silence. The human speaks of readiness. But readiness for what? Do you understand the gaze that falls upon those who grow too quickly? Do you comprehend the tribute demanded of those who dare defy the order of this galaxy? Jake felt the weight of the warning but pressed forward. Knowledge carries risk, Speaker. Humanity has never chosen safety over freedom. We won't start now. Amy's console flared red. Captain, multiple ships charging weapons. At least a dozen. Jake's voice stayed calm. Hold position. He had expected this moment, the razor's edge between diplomacy and annihilation. Finally, the speaker answered. Very well, Captain Morrison. The Council will hear your petition. Dock at Bay 7 and present yourselves before the assembled species. But know this, humanity has stepped onto a path from which there is no return. Acceptance, or annihilation. And the choice may not be yours to make. The Liberty moved slowly toward the docking bays, its hull dwarfed by the living architecture around it. Thousands of alien eyes peered through observation windows. Some radiated curiosity, others hostility. Jake turned to his crew. Remember why we're here. Humanity has been ignored too long. Today, we claim our voice among the stars. The docking clamps closed around the UFS Liberty with a shudder that echoed through its hull. On the bridge, the crew exchanged uneasy glances. Humanity had broken into the most secretive chamber of galactic politics, and every alien eye was now fixed on them. Captain Jake Morrison straightened his uniform, his reflection ghosting across the viewport. All right, he said, voice low but steady. This is the moment we've been preparing for. Humanity's first step into the galactic spotlight. Let's make it count. Lieutenant Amy Carter gave a tight nod. Captain, external feeds are showing hundreds of species. Some I've never seen even in captured data. Ben Rogers let out a nervous chuckle. Guess we're about to make quite the first impression. They disembarked with a small honor guard of Marines, boots striking the alien decking. The docking bay itself felt impossibly vast. Vaulted ceilings of crystalline bone, banners woven from living silk, symbols etched in luminescent script that shifted like flowing water. At the far end, a procession of alien dignitaries waited. They came in every imaginable form, towering insectoids, scaled quadrupeds, beings of living crystal, even clouds of gas contained within shimmering fields. Each species radiated its own pride and history. And in their midst, standing upon a raised dais, was Speaker Zark. Zark's form was crystalline, tall and faceted, light refracting through his body like a prism. His voice resonated both through sound and vibration, carried not only to the ear but to the bone. Humans, he declared, you stand uninvited in the most sacred hall of the galaxy. The Council has gathered to deliberate matters of survival, of tribute, of war and peace. And you, offspring of a minor world, dare to demand a voice. Murmurs rippled through the assembly, translated fragments overlapping. They grow too fast. They will bring the apex. This cannot be allowed. Jake stepped forward, his words steady, though the weight of the chamber pressed like gravity. Humanity is no longer confined to Earth. We are explorers, builders, warriors. We have bled to survive, and we have endured. We will not accept silence or exclusion. Earth demands a seat at this table. A ripple of agitation swept the chamber. Some alien delegates hissed, others raised appendages in gestures of protest. From the far side, a voice thundered, low, guttural, almost a growl. Its speaker was massive, encased in armor of living chitin, eyes burning with predatory light. You know not what you ask, human. Seats at this table are not given. They are bought with submission, or paid for with extinction. The chamber hushed. Jake met the predator's gaze. And who enforces such terms? The answer came not from the armored alien, but from Speaker Zark himself. His crystalline voice cut like ice. The apex predator. The words seemed to drain the air from the chamber. Even the fiercest delegates fell silent, their bodies stiffening with instinctive fear. Amy whispered, Captain, they're terrified. Zark continued, his voice heavy with dread. Long before your species walked upright, this galaxy was forged in blood. The Kthmor Empire rose, vast and defiant, claiming to be eternal. They built fleets that blotted out suns, and armies that trampled worlds into ash. They too demanded a seat, no, a throne. But the apex came. And in a single century, the Kthmor were erased. Their worlds were glass, their names struck from memory. That is the order you now challenge. The chamber darkened as holograms filled the air, visions of burning worlds, shattered fleets, shadows of a vast, unseen power. The delegates trembled at the reminder, some bowing their heads in reverence, others shivering in fear. Ben muttered, that thing killed an entire empire. Jake stood unmoved. His voice rang out, sharp against the silence. Humanity has lived under predators before. We are the children of struggle. We have faced extinction countless times, from the ice to the fire to the silence of space. And still, we endure. If this apex seeks to destroy us, let it come. Humanity does not kneel. A wave of shock rippled across the chamber. Outrage, disbelief, yet also something else. A flicker of curiosity. The armored alien snarled. You speak defiance now. But when the apex descends, when its gaze falls upon you, your species will know only fear. Jake's reply was cold as steel. Then let the galaxy learn what fear truly means, when humanity refuses to break. The silence that followed was suffocating. Then chaos erupted. Delegates shouted over one another, some calling for humanity's immediate annihilation, others demanding containment, a few even suggesting cautious observation. Zark raised a crystalline arm, and the chamber fell still. His voice carried finality. The Council will deliberate. Until then, humanity will remain confined to its vessel. Know this, Captain Morrison, your world has been marked. The apex will hear of your defiance. And once it comes, no alliance, no fleet, no council will shield you. Back aboard the Liberty, the mood was grim but defiant. The crew had witnessed the galaxy's deepest fear, and spat in its face. Amy turned to Jake as the docking clamps released. Sir, do you really think we can stand against something that erased an empire? Jake looked out at the sea of alien ships, then beyond, to the stars that had always called humanity forward. His answer was quiet, but firm. We've always stood against impossible odds. That's what makes us human. Ben leaned back in his chair, exhaling. If the apex is coming, maybe it's time we show the galaxy what we've been preparing for. Jake allowed himself a faint smile. Then let them come. And let the galaxy watch. As the Liberty pulled away from the station, alien eyes tracked its every movement. Some filled with hate, others with fear, but a few, just a few, with hope. For in the heart of the galaxy, among ancient empires and trembling councils, a new truth had been spoken. Humanity would not kneel. And the stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The UFS Liberty drifted through the void, engines burning silent blue against the endless dark. In the war room, the crew studied the feeds, thousands of transmissions bleeding from across the galaxy. The Council's chambers had not been able to contain the shock. Word had spread like wildfire, the humans defied the apex. On dozens of worlds, broadcasts replayed Captain Morrison's words, his defiance repeated endlessly. To some, it was lunacy. To others, heresy. But to a few, it was a spark. The retaliation came swiftly. A fleet of allied predator species, sworn to keep the Galactic Order, descended on the outer edges of human space. Their ships blotted out the stars, weapons primed. The message was simple: bow now, or burn before the apex arrives. But what awaited them was not fear. As the alien fleet entered the Sol system, they encountered silence. Earth itself hung in the void, unguarded, almost vulnerable. Confusion rippled through their ranks. Could the humans have abandoned their homeworld already? Then the trap closed. From the shadow of the moon, from the black of Jupiter's orbit, from the depths of Neptune's ice, ships emerged. Not scattered, not disorganized, but precise, cold, coordinated. Human warships, forged in secret, painted black as the void, with weapons that gleamed like starlight. They struck without hesitation. Kinetic rods rained down at relativistic speeds, turning alien battleships into incandescent fireballs. Stealth drones swarmed carriers, cutting their throats before shields even rose. Cybernetic ghosts invaded enemy networks, turning their own weapons inward. The battle lasted hours. When it ended, the invaders were gone. Not defeated in honorable combat. Not driven back with negotiation. Erased, methodically, mercilessly. The galaxy watched in horror. The humans had not only survived, they had calculated, prepared, and executed with terrifying precision. The victory was only the beginning. Humanity did not stop at defense. They began to speak, not just to their enemies, but to the entire galaxy. Broadcasts carried across the stars, hijacking channels, overriding systems. A single human voice spoke in a dozen tongues. You thought us weak. You thought us prey. But we have learned from every predator that ever hunted us. And we have become something greater. We are not prey. We are the fear that keeps predators awake at night. Images followed, of Earth's endless wars, of ruins rebuilt, of soldiers standing bloodied yet unbroken. The message was clear: humanity was not seeking conquest. Humanity was warning them. And the warning was working. Entire species that once mocked humans now sealed their borders. Some whispered of alliances, desperate to cling to humanity's defiance. Others recoiled in terror, convinced Earth had become the new apex. In the Galactic Council, chaos reigned. Some demanded humanity's immediate extermination. Others urged appeasement, arguing that open war would only hasten the apex's arrival. And a quiet minority began to see humans as a shield, an unsettling, unpredictable force that might, just might, stand where no one else could. Speaker Zark, crystalline and weary, addressed the assembly. The humans are a paradox. Their existence draws danger. But their defiance awakens something we thought lost. Hope. The word itself felt dangerous, almost forbidden. But hope, like fire, casts long shadows. It was the Harari who spoke first, the ancient, silent species that had always lingered at the edges of galactic affairs. They broke their millennia of quiet with a chilling declaration. The apex is not the end. It is only the hound. The chamber froze. The Harari elder, its form a shifting tapestry of light, continued. The hunters you fear are not the masters. They are tools, unleashed by hands you do not see. The true architects of your terror are older than your sons, older than memory. We call them the architects. They are the ones who shape empires and break them, who cull civilizations as a gardener prunes weeds. The council erupted in disbelief, denial, rage. But in the silence that followed, many glanced toward the humans. For in their defiance, in their terrifying refusal to kneel, humanity seemed less like a reckless child, and more like a weapon forged for this very moment. Aboard the Liberty, the crew absorbed the reports. Amy's voice was quiet, uncertain. "Sir, if the Harari are right, then the Apex isn't even our real enemy. It's just the beginning." Ben slammed a fist against the table. "Then why are we wasting time fighting fleets that don't matter? If there's something worse out there, something pulling the strings, shouldn't we hit it first?" Jake Morrison's gaze lingered on the stars outside, endless and cold. He could feel the weight of history pressing down. Humanity was no longer in the shadows. They were on the stage, with the galaxy watching. "We don't choose the enemy," he said at last. "But we choose who we are when it arrives. We can run, we can kneel, or we can stand. Even if the architects themselves descend from the void, humanity will not break." The crew exchanged glances. Fear lingered in their eyes, but beneath it, something stronger. Resolve. And so the story spread. On worlds enslaved by fear, whispers rose, "If humans can resist, why not us?" On planets long silent, rebellion stirred. On the edges of the galaxy, eyes turned toward Earth, not with pity, not with scorn, but with something unfamiliar. Expectation. The apex was still coming. The architects waited in the dark. But for the first time in 500,000 years, the galaxy was not united in terror. For the first time, the predators remembered what it meant to fear prey. And in that fear, a spark was born. A spark with the power to ignite the stars.